of Saints and Sinners by Morningstar Writes. Chapter 29. The Newcomers. Oh my gosh! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Charlie greets her new recruits with gusto. There's only 3 sinners at the front door, but it's still an improvement compared to the number of guests before. 0. Thanks, one of them responds. The other 2 hide behind her back, and Charlie swoons at the sight. Oh, you're all so cute! Happy first day! Come join us in the parlor. I'll introduce you to everyone. She ushers them in, and Lucifer has to look down to see their faces. They're really quite tiny, only reaching up to his knees. This is Lucifer. She gestures towards him. He's the king of hell, so if you run into any issues, he'll help you out. He's also my dad. Charmed, I'm sure. Lucifer tips his hat towards them. They do a hybrid bow, curtsy, nod, like they don't know how to greet him. Oh, you don't need to do all that. And this is Alastor. Charlie barrels onward. He may be an overlord, but he's also the facility manager. Alastor looks uninterested, although he does address them. Quite a pleasure to be meeting you. If you require something from me, I am always happy to make a deal. Don't make a deal with him, Maggie warns. And this is my girlfriend, Maggie. She's the manager here. And I'm Nifty. Nifty jumps in. I clean. And I cook. Charlie looks around, trying to find the rest of the staff. I guess Angel Dust and Husk aren't around, so I'll introduce you to them later. Why don't I take you on a tour of the hotel today? Oh, okay. One of them squawks, clearly overwhelmed. Charlie pauses here, and she smiles at them kindly. Maybe a smaller group should lead? Does anyone want to stay behind? Lucifer glances at Alastor, waiting to see what his next move is. It's hard to get a read on him today. Should they go together? Should they separate? What's the right choice here? He gets his answer when Alastor taps on his shoulder with his radio cane, careful to maintain a distance between them. Perhaps you should stay then, Alastor says blithely. I will accompany Charlie, as I have a far more important role compared to you. So he chose fighting, huh? That's easy enough. Ha! Lucifer laughs insincerely. Go ahead and take the day off. Charlie, dear, I'll go with you. There's no need. Only the superior hotel staff should attend. Well, I know this place like the back of my hand. I rebuilt it after all. How unnecessary. It's not as though Charlie asked you to go with. Well, she didn't ask you either. At their raised voices, one of the demons turns to look at Charlie nervously, and she tries to remedy it. Okay, I've made up my mind. Dad, Alastor, you 2 stay in the parlor. We will take them on a tour. Well, Lucifer feels a little like she put them in timeout. Yeah, of course, whatever you want. They both watch as Charlie hands out maps to the demons. She then gives a brief description of the hotel. She sounds very professional, as though she practiced beforehand. Okay, so that's what we do here in a nutshell. Let's show you around. Oh, wait! I have some gifts for you! As Charlie passes each sinner a welcome basket, Maggie turns to Lucifer, her voice hushed and discreet. Good thing those demons we spoke with didn't come, right, sir? Oh? Maggie furrows her eyebrows. The ones who asked which room you're in? Oh, yeah. Lucifer pretty much forgot about them. Those people. I wonder what happened. Well, good riddance anyway. Come on, Maggie. Let's go. Charlie shouts. Maggie hurries towards her, and the 3 of them guide the demons towards a hallway, their backs disappearing once they turn the corner. Alastor glances at Lucifer. Lucifer glances at Alastor, and now he's faced with 2 dialogue options. Option A, ignore Alastor. Option B, speak with Alastor. He selects option B. Lucifer looks around, double-checking to see if they're alone. Funnily enough, Alastor seems to have the same idea based on how his eyes scour the premises. When they're both certain that the hotel is empty, Alastor broaches an unexpected topic. Exactly how many sinners did you speak with while you were promoting the hotel? Alastor's tone is quite taut. Lucifer tilts his head, a little confused by his inquiry. Not much. I think we only met one group. And what did they look like? What? What did they look like? Alastor repeats, his voice sounding tenser, if that was possible. Lucifer's seriously bewildered, but he answers the question anyway. They were super big and tall. He gets on his tiptoes to demonstrate, and there was a bunch of them. Alastor taps his chin thoughtfully. Ah, those pesky demons. Friends of yours? What a preposterous notion. Alastor's eyes narrow.
I merely got rid of them.
Huh? You did?
And now his confusion turns to surprise.
Why? Did they piss you off?
Somewhat.
Alastor's quiet after that, like he's lost in thought.
He barely even moves, actually, so still he looks rooted to the spot.
Oh, is this conversation over?
Lucifer thinks. He starts to inch away, wanting to give him space, but then Alastor grabs his arm, his red fingers wrapping around his bicep gingerly. Lucifer looks at where he's holding him, and then back up at his crimson eyes.
Leaving so soon?
Alastor sounds casual, but his words are rather accusatory.
Come with me for a moment.
To where?
Alastor gestures his head towards the balcony.
Out there.
He drops his hold from Lucifer's arm, unfortunately. Although they've only been touching for a few seconds, he finds that he misses the warmth of Alastor's hand, and he has to grab onto his own wrist to prevent himself from reaching out.
Sure.
When they make it outside, Lucifer leans his back against the balcony railing, watching as Alastor locks the door behind them.
You're acting kind of suspicious, Lucifer notes. Did you bring me out here to kill me?
Such nonsense.
Alastor strides over to him, and they stand side by side.
That wouldn't benefit me in any way. You are much more useful to me alive.
Wow, thanks,
Lucifer says sarcastically.
Well, what is it then?
He can feel Alastor gazing at him cautiously. He always looks preoccupied these days, as though deciding whether he should say something or not. Alastor chooses to speak this time.
I have heard them.
The demons?
Lucifer inquires, and Alastor nods.
They were coming up with a ploy to...
Alastor grips the gold railing tightly, and it's with great difficulty that he says,
to bed you.
Lucifer snaps his head to look at him, which is a mistake because, God, Alastor's intense stare feels like it'll crush him into oblivion. He immediately averts his eyes and tries to laugh it off. Oh, really? I mean, they did seem a little dodgy.
That is a bit of an understatement, don't you think?
Alastor's tone is decidedly unaffected, but when Lucifer peeks over, he can see his twitch a little. From irritation? Or is it jealousy?
Nah, it can't be.
Lucifer thinks. Still, Alastor seems bothered for some reason. Lucifer drums his fingers on the railing, thinking of how to lift his mood up, maybe by saying something stupid, something that'll make Alastor send him a snide reply, you think much too highly of yourself, and so on and so forth.
Wait.
He laughs and turns towards Alastor.
Is that why you got rid of them? 'Cause you wanted me all to yourself?
Crack!
Alastor snaps the banister with his bare hands.
Not the kind of reaction Lucifer was going for, absolutely not what he was anticipating, and Alastor slowly turns to face him. Smile tensing, eyes flashing, words gritting out from clenched teeth.
And so what if I do?
Oh, he didn't expect him to say that.
Lucifer flushes a little, and in contrast, Alastor almost looks ill at his disclosure, an unhealthy pallor settling over his face. His hands are still strangling the broken railing, and so Lucifer looks around surreptitiously before placing his hand atop of his. The size difference is almost comical. His hand barely even covers Alastor's, but at the physical contact, Alastor eases his death grip infinitesimally. Lucifer squeezes his hand in a hopefully reassuring way. You know nothing would have happened, right? I beat the shit out of them if they tried anything.
Is that so?
Although Alastor sounds completely indifferent, his posture relaxes just a smidge.
Yeah, no one's gonna mess with this guy.
Lucifer jabs a thumb at himself, and a small chuckle escapes from Alastor's mouth. Finally, he looks more like himself again.
How very intimidating.
Alastor leans in. His face is so close Lucifer can see the shadows cast by his eyelashes.
Watching you put some sinners in their place? I would have enjoyed seeing that immensely.
Point them out to me then. I'll go kick their ass now.
Alastor lets out an actual laugh this time. It's harsh, jarring, yet ultimately very infectious, and they both snicker for the open air.
Well, is that anything else on your mind?
Lucifer asks. He's dying to know if they're okay after the whole Jazz Club incident. Alastor seems a little unbalanced by it, but Lucifer can only hazard a guess at what he's thinking.
Oh, my mind is perpetually busy, unlike yours, which is empty, as always.
Alastor taps Lucifer's forehead to accentuate his point. He scowls at the touch, but doesn't make a move to remove Alastor's hand. What the? I have thoughts up here.
If you say so.
Alastor sounds like he doesn't believe him at all.
Well, I shall bid you farewell here. Since Charlie does not require my aid, I will depart for the day.
And so he slinks away into his shadows, disappearing without even
Offering a kiss or a hug or even a wave. Lucifer looks around, trying to see if he'll pop back in, but he doesn't. He's just gone. Okay, whatever. Fine. Alastor will come back and talk to him some other day, except that's the last time they see each other for a while.
Dad?
Charlie knocks on the door to the music room.
Are you doing okay? Want some lunch?
There's a stumbling sound, footsteps, and then Lucifer throws the door open. Charlie! I would love that. Come in, come in. She follows him in and looks around the room. He has the lid to the red piano propped open, clearly in the middle of playing. There's a bunch of handwritten music sheets that are sprawled across the piano rack. After she sets the tray of food down on a table, she picks up one of the pages.
Oh, what song is this?
Oh, don't look at that. Hastily yanks it out of her hands and then starts stacking the rest of the pages together. It's a piano accompaniment. I'm not done yet, though.
Is that why you've been in here for the past few days?
Charlie asks carefully. He's been tucked in the room for a while, only texting her when he's bored. Like right now. Lucifer sets the song aside and sits down on the piano bench. Yeah, sorta. It's not going very well, though. He sighs and swivels to face the keyboard. Do you know anyone who's good at the piano? Besides...
Alastor.
Charlie finishes his sentence.
Why don't you ask him, Dad?
Lucifer taps his fingers on his knees nervously. I don't think so, kiddo. Did Alastor do something, Charlie thinks worriedly? She really shouldn't stick her nose into her dad's business so much, but it's hard not to care. Lucifer appears to be a bit out of sorts. He starts to play a few notes on the piano, indicating that their conversation was over. Charlie leaves and closes the door behind her, quiet as a mouse, but her mind goes a mile a minute. In the next few days, Alastor purposefully avoids Lucifer. Instead, he accompanies Charlie on her absurd request to rehabilitate her new guests. It doesn't actually help in any way, because he's simply using them as a distraction from his thoughts, of which he has many. Far too many. It's quite tedious that even after going steady with Lucifer, Alastor grapples with how to deal with his self-control. It's slipping, like trying to cup water in his palms, trickling out between his fingers. Even worse, he feels retroactively abashed by his actions from the jazz club, and he doesn't know how to deal with either the twisting in his heart or the heat pooling in his stomach. Thinking about it makes his body ache, and he places his hand on his forehead. He needs Lucifer. He needs a moment.
So, I know hell can seem bad, but it's all about what you make of it,
Charlie says animatedly. She's speaking to the sinners in a makeshift classroom, and she's at the front of the room with a blackboard. It's just her and Angel Dust running the workshop today, the latter sitting at the back row of the room.
I mean, Alastor, you like it down here, right?
He hadn't been paying attention, but he manages to pick up the last part of her sentence.
Indeed. I do so enjoy hearing the screams of my victims.
The demons shrink at this, and Charlie's smile resembles more of a grimace.
Okay, not a great example, but I love it down here. This is my home.
Charlie draws on the board with chalk, and she makes little sketches of everyone from the hotel.
Everyone has good traits and bad traits inside of them, but honestly, trying to figure out if something is good is hard. It depends on how you want to live your life and how your actions affect the people around you.
Charlie places the chalk down.
For example, Angel has changed so much just by being here.
Yeah, baby, I'm finally clean and sober,
Angel Dust says proudly.
But Charlie, you forgot to mention one thing.
What's that?
Hell is fun! There's a ton of stuff we can do.
Like what?
One of the demons asks.
I know a few places where a guy can blow off steam. Where don't I take you?
Under Charlie's careful eye, he quickly says,
I'll show you wholesome things, okay?
That sounds nice, actually. Can we go?
The sinners all turn to look at Charlie, who nods hesitantly.
Yeah. Okay, why not? Thank you, Angel.
All right, nifty demons, let's go.
Again, Angel, they're not actually nifty demons. They're just,
Yeah. Angel thus scoops them up into his 6 arms and carries them out of the classroom like they're practically weightless. It's just Alastor and Charlie now, which is not an ideal situation for him. I suppose I shall have to find something else to occupy my time, Alastor thinks. He's about to get up from his chair when Charlie stands over him, her shadow looming ominously. As he had expected, Charlie wants to meddle with him somehow.
Did you need something?
Alastor smiles at her insincerely.
Alastor, thank you so much for joining us these days.
She claps her hands together.
But, I have a question.
And that is?
She takes in a breath.
Did you and my dad get into a fight?
Alastor stiffens at this.
Why do you ask?
He's been stuck in the music room for a while. He seems kind of out of it,
Charlie says worriedly.
All he does is practice the piano.
What was that? Did you say the piano?
Lucifer's certainly musically adept, but Alastor has yet to hear him perform that specific instrument.
Yeah, he looks mopey. Do you know what's going on?
Mopey?
And now Alastor's eyebrows shoot all the way up to his forehead.
It happened right after you came back, Alastor, so I figured... Not that it has to be related to you,
Charlie says hastily.
It could be anything, really.
Alas, it probably is due to him, isn't it? He intentionally made his presence rather scarce for the past few days. He laces his fingers underneath his chin and looks up at Charlie pensively. Thinking on his own had been a fruitless venture, and he'd be damned if he had to refer to literature again. If he could speak with someone about this as circuitously as possible, it could potentially be helpful.
Your father and I did not engage in a fight.
Oh, okay, that's good.
However,
Alastor cuts in.
Perhaps you could be of assistance.
Oh!
Charlie's eyes light up.
I would love to help!
She pulls up a chair in front of him and sits down, her expression expectant, and Alastor ponders over how to phrase it indirectly.
He has been... He did something.
What something? Something is referring to the jazz club, the song, the confession, the kissing that stoked a flame within him, but he would rather get tortured mercilessly than admit all of that to her.
Oh, Charlie, that information is none of your concern. All I need from you is a simple answer.
Alastor pinches her cheek and then lets go.
Am I supposed to return the action in kind?
Charlie waits for him to elaborate, which he never does. They stare at each other silently for who knows how long before she lets out an uncomfortable cough.
Well, if you did something bad, I don't think you should argue and fight back. How does that saying go again? Oh, yeah. An eye for an eye makes the world go blind. From Gandhi.
And if it's something good?
Alastor prompts.
Is it good?
Oh, that's rather irrelevant.
Charlie thinks about it for a while.
Knowing Dad, you don't owe him anything. He's not the type to do stuff just so he can get something in return.
Well, he knew that much about him, at least. Alastor feels rather antsy, but Charlie's sparkling eyes are too much to handle at the moment.
So, will you two make up now?
As I already mentioned, we did not fight.
Alastor interjects before she goes off on another tangent.
But you have given me some things to think about.
Namely, what to do next.
Any updates with Alastor?
Angel Dust asks. He's writing a new note down on the board. Lucifer equals missing both eye. You know, he did go back with a ripped jacket. Husk puts down his newspaper, looking at the corkboard with apathy. But who knows, that could be from anyone.
Well, they haven't been talking to each other these days.
Charlie sighs.
But I think I helped Alastor a little. So maybe I can help out a lot now.
What will you do then, princess? Rosie's voice sounds tinny from the video call, and Charlie leans down to speak with her.
I'll pair them up for an activity. That way they'll have no choice but to talk to each other. Can you guess today's event?
Charlie's practically bouncing on her heels from excitement.
First person to guess correctly gets a prize.
They're all standing in a giant ballroom in the hotel. The floor-to-ceiling windows let in a stream of natural light, bathing their surroundings in a rosy glow. A black grand piano is tucked away in the corner, where Razzle is seated and ready to perform.
Ooh, me!
Nifty jumps in the air.
Are we dancing?
That's right. Here's your prize.
Charlie tucks a white flower into Nifty's hair, and she spins around happily.
Oh, how very elegant.
Alastor sounds rather genuine.
And what dance style shall it be, Charlie?
I'm thinking the waltz. She pulls Maggie to her chest, and they dance in place for a bit. It's beautiful and graceful, so I thought it might be fun for all of us.
I don't know how to dance,
one of the demons says quietly. Charlie lets go of Aggie and crouches down, smiling at him encouragingly.
That's okay. It's a dance lesson, which will be helpful for me, too. I haven't done this in so long, I need a refresher.
Lucifer knows that she's lying just to make the demons feel better, but it works. They all visibly ease up at her comment. Charlie waves a hand at Razzle, and he starts playing a dreamy waltz. Cha-cha, cha-cha.
Dad?
Charlie grabs his hand.
Alastor?
She grabs his arm.
Since you two are such great dancers, could you teach us today? Somehow it feels clearly orchestrated.
Alastor and Lucifer look at each other from the corner of their eyes, with Charlie in between. It's the first time he's seen Alastor in exactly 4 days. So that's 4 kisses, Lucifer thinks automatically, and then he inwardly groans, God, now's not the time for that! Dance lesson, he echoes. Is that something that helps people become, well, nicer?
It'll teach us to trust each other. You know, don't step on each other's toes, don't trip and fall.
As Charlie lists out more reasons, Lucifer peeks over at him, checking to see his reaction. Alastor doesn't seem bothered or anything. He merely lifts an eyebrow as though issuing a challenge. Fine, if that's how he wants to play it. I'll lead then. Lucifer shoots him a cocky grin, and Alastor shakes his head.
I'd rather not be subjected to your terrible dancing. You are an awful leader. Allow me.
Alastor scowls, but he takes a step closer to him. In response, Alastor shakes off Charlie's hand to step into his personal space, and they glower at each other. Nope, I'll lead. Lucifer insists.
I shall lead.
Alastor counters. I'll lead.
I shall.
I'll... For fuck's sake, someone lead. Husk growls. Alastor jerks his head up at this, momentarily distracted, and Lucifer takes the opportunity to grab his hand, pull them in close, set his own hand on Alastor's waist, and grin at him triumphantly. Alastor looks at him wide-eyed, but settles his hand delicately on Lucifer's arm, the role of the follower. Looks like I'll lead, Lucifer says smugly. Alastor's expression flickers to annoyance.
How regrettable. Instruct, then.
They stand in the center of the room, with Razzle continuing to play the piano, the beat a continuous 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's a height difference between him and Alastor, but as this is the 3rd time they'll dance together, he's gotten pretty accustomed to it. I'll show you how to do the box step first, Lucifer calls out. He's pretty familiar with the moves, and so he goes through the motions without a problem. Alastor keeps up smoothly, as expected, if he's being honest. That's kind of nice, actually. All of them together like this, enjoying the warm afternoon sun, dancing to the tune of the playful piano, hearing their footsteps echoing in the ballroom. Everyone seems to get the hang of it after a while, and Lucifer pauses here, running through what to teach them next. The twinkle, the promenade, and then the chassé.
This is fine and all, but where's the drama?
Angel Dust's voice rings out from across the room, where he's dancing with a mildly reluctant Husk.
Can you show us a dip or something?
A dip, Lucifer says thoughtfully. Yeah, sure. I'm pretty good at those.
But I am better.
Alastor sings. Without a warning, he drops their hands and forces Lucifer to grab onto his arm, making it so that Alastor leads instead. It's so seamless that Lucifer immediately steps into the follower position, albeit with some indignation. What? Hey! He protests, but Alastor ignores him. His hand is clasped onto Lucifer's waist securely, the pressure making his heart beat a little harder.
Shall I demonstrate?
Alastor says brightly. He spins him in place gratefully, and then snakes his arm around Lucifer's waist in a secure fashion.
Right arm around your partner's waist, left hand on the back.
And then Alastor dips him with a flourish, his arms holding Lucifer firmly. His red hair cascades downward, and it conceals both of their faces, like they're hiding from the others. Alastor whispers into his ear.
Your favorite part, hmm?
And then he pulls him up in one fluid movement. His hands linger on Lucifer's body. Is he hesitating to let go? But he does in the end, and it's over in an instant.
Lucifer can't even react until he hears a smattering of applause, and he turns to look at the hotel residents.
Whoa! One of the demons says, "That was really good."
Oh, there is much room for improvement. For Lucifer, that is.
Alastor says snidely.
Nifty, come and be my partner for the rest of the afternoon. I would like to pair up with someone who can actually dance.
All the fuzzy feelings Lucifer has towards him vanishes immediately, and he lets it up.
Yeah, your footwork is a mess. Charlie, dear, come over here and we'll show him how it's done.
Let's not make this into a contest.
But it's too late, and they spend the rest of the afternoon engaged in the least relaxing waltz session of all time.
You all look so amazing dancing today. Charlie hands each of the demons an itinerary, and she gestures towards the front door. Since you've spent the past few days at the hotel, I thought it'd be nice if we went to explore the Pride Ring. Sure. The smallest sinner looks at the agenda, and she perks up at the list. Oh, this looks fun.
As Lucifer is about to leave the hotel with them, Charlie quickly shakes her head.
Dad, Al, you two stay here.
You don't want us to go with you?
She lowers her voice so that only Lucifer can hear her. You two are a little too competitive right now. I think you're tiring the new guests out.
Lucifer glances over at the demons, who do seem rather fatigued. Sorry, Charlie.
No, it's okay. Just stay here and, relax. Talk to each other. Or don't. No pressure.
She says quickly. He furrows his eyebrows, a little skeptical, but nods anyway. Anything you want, Charlie.
The second the door's shut, Lucifer turns to Alastor.
Do you get the sense that she's trying to leave us together?
Perhaps.
Alastor turns this over in his head.
She did ask me if we were in a quarrel. This may be her very roundabout way of getting us to be on cordial terms.
Wait, did you tell her we were in a fight?
Alastor lets out a long-suffering sigh.
Of course not, but what can I say? Charlie sees whatever she wants to see.
I mean, she's pretty distracted with the new guests,
Lucifer says, reflecting on the day's activities.
You know, those sinners aren't too bad. I was kind of afraid of how they'd act and all, but they ended up okay.
Ah, yes, they are quite docile.
Alastor smirks at him.
If they had been as argumentative as you, I would have strangled them to death.
And if they had been anything like you, I would have kicked them out.
Lucifer shoots back.
How serendipitous that they are nothing like us, then.
Yeah.
They stand there in silence, something that started to happen more often than not. He takes the opportunity to examine Alastor, and he looks like the very picture of health. As good as usual. So why was he gone for so long?
Haven't seen you in a while,
Lucifer finally says. Alastor nods, his smile dimming.
Indeed, although it's still a shorter duration compared to your departure.
He seems irked by the thought.
Your journey up to heaven was quite inconvenient.
Wait, really?
Lucifer says, surprised.
Did Charlie need me for something, a task or whatever?
Alastor harums at his question, and Lucifer gets the feeling that he's sulking again.
It was quite inconvenient for me.
Every now and then, Alastor drops a sentence like this. Honest. A little more heartfelt. It makes Lucifer want to blush furiously, and he can already feel his face warming up. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah?
Lucifer grins, trying to cover up his embarrassment with bravado. He stands in front of Alastor, who is pointedly avoiding eye contact with him.
Did you need me for something?
He finally gazes at him, his vermilion eyes carefully unreadable.
He
wrestles with finishing his sentence.
I had...
And then he lights up as though he came up with an idea.
There was a slight pain in my chest. Perhaps your powers could have come in handy.
Wait, really?
All cheekiness disappears from Lucifer's voice, and he leans in worriedly.
What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong,
Alastor says immediately. But when he sees the anxiety on Lucifer's face, he sighs and gives way.
I merely have a bit of a scarlet from Adam.
Alastor touches his own chest and drags his fingers down to his abdomen, miming where the scar is located. Lucifer stretches his hand out, but stops right before he makes contact with Alastor's torso.
You still have a scar. What? That shouldn't have happened.
And then Lucifer actually thinks back on the whole event. The radio tower, Alastor's hand, the momentary peace between the two of them.
Oh, wait. I know why now. To heal the whole thing, I have to touch the actual area. But I held your hand instead because somebody refused to take his shirt off.
Alastor blinks. Once, twice, and then his smile widens.
Oh? Were you that desperate to remove my clothes?
His voice is ever teasing, and Lucifer feels his face burn with renewed vigor.
That's not what I...
Fuck, he's so flustered that he can't even form a coherent sentence. He inhales deeply, trying to get his scrambled thoughts together.
Look, that's how this healing shit works, okay? I bet if I healed you now, shirt off and everything, it'll be completely back to normal.
Alastor's dear ears lift up.
Is that a proposal, then?
Lucifer reels back at this. What?
To heal me perfectly?
Alastor reiterates. Lucifer gawks at him, and a brief vision of a shirtless Alastor flashes through his head. He digs his fingers into his palm. God, he needs to stop!
Offers available?
He manages to say. Not that Alastor would take him up on that anyway. Like, hell, he'd wanna...
This pesky scar is a bit of a bother.
What? Lucifer thinks. Alastor looks at him thoughtfully and then slowly nods.
Very well.
Alastor leans in and Lucifer holds his breath.
I shall make my request, then.
He says, sotto voce.
Heal me.